So sometimes you don't realize that you have already done the work, and for those of you that are doing the work and doing the shadow work, you don't realize you've done the work, and sometimes you leave yourself in that place when you should move on to the next part of your journey. Hello beautiful creatures, welcome to my channel. I am Aradia, the Witch of Dark Light, and I hope you all are doing well. So this is another magic talk. I want to talk about some things I have been channeling and the goetic entities and different things like that. And some things I don't typically share here on YouTube. I don't share a lot of the things that lean toward the things that I do within it that are more left-hand path-ish, if you will. But let's just get into it without me beginning my rant already. First, I want to talk about when I went down a rabbit hole. This was just last night, and I remember doing this before, but my mother's maiden name's Ward. And looking back, it was like a rabbit hole of going back down into the lineage and the slaves and all of that. But what it had, among other things, reading some of the interviews and articles that were written based on what some of the slaves said in the interview. The research was because I understood more of the lineage of what that name represents and the women on my mother's side of the family and a lot of things and they won't profess that they are witches or spiritualists, but the name Ward is protector and guardian. So this is very much a lot of who I am, and it is who I am to the core of my being. If anybody knows me, they'll tell you, if you come into my circle of close friends or family, I am very protective. So it took me down a rabbit hole of understanding that it's perfect because it resurfaced. I've done this before, but it's perfect with the path that I'm on now. And what is the path that I'm on now? I shouldn't say the path that I'm on now, but the evolution of what that looks like. And I guess it's because of the autumn equinox. And it was funny, I'm sorry if this video is going to be a bunch of rambling, but I want to get out all of the pieces that creates this story, so you can understand what it is that I'm saying. So some shows I start to watch when the season changes, and specifically during fall, is Discovery of Witches. And it was funny because the first episode comes on and you see, and it's not gonna be a spoiler, but you see the vampire standing there, and the words go autumn equinox because it's giving context of the timing that everything is taking place. So in my mind I was like, oh, now I understand why I'm feeling all of this, going into the darkness, going into working with the energies that I'm working with. And so the other night, and I'm rambling because I'm hesitant to, again, like I said, I don't share a lot of the things that I work with. I do with, my patrons, but here in the world of YouTube, that's not a place that I have shared in depth some of those things. But I was in the bed the other night, and this was a few days ago, and I kept feeling like a knowing that Lucifer was reaching out to me. And I kept hearing Lucifer, 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 Lucifer. And all of a sudden, this being, I saw this being come forth. It wasn't ever a visual that I've ever had of Lucifer. It didn't look like him. So I was a little confused. I was like, why? I'm hearing Lucifer, but I don't feel like this being is Lucifer. So what I am going to be doing going forward is, since I am capable of drawing art, I am going to be, the things that I channel, the visuals that I get, I'm going to work on creating them here so that I can have, you know, a physical representation. And if these beings are someone that I am going to work with, then I will have this picture here. And so if you aren't, if you are someone that's fearful to work with demons or to hear about demons or what have you, or anything on the left-hand path, you might not want to watch the rest of this video. Or even, because I know when I showed this to my husband, he was like, why are you showing me this? I am now going to go and dream this image. So I just would like to give some warning for those of you that are very empathetic and take on visuals, and you know, it goes within and it sticks with you. So fair warning. This is an image, and this paper that's folded here is the first, you know, draft. I don't want to share that. I want to leave you with this image. So that's this here, and I'm probably going to do a B-roll if the camera acts up. But here, that's this image here. So in pulling cards and doing a little divination, and I use the method that I forget his name, and maybe if I remember, I'll put it in the description. But I used the method of using the Thoth Tarot deck to divine the message. And long story short, you know, I spent some time doing some research, divining the message, hearing, and even at that moment, I felt like I had a whole entourage of my counsel, if you will. And I heard Santa Morte come forth because she wanted to help me clarify this path. In understanding that, I'm not going to talk too much about that part, but I want to talk about who this being is. So I've been working with the Qlipoth with my patrons, going over simultaneously, because it is the same tree. It is just, there's the Qlipoth is the shadow side of the tree. So I've been going over it and the structure of it over on Patreon. I will be going over Gamaliel, the cave and the tunnels within the Qlipoth. That is the realm of Lilith. Lilith is associated in lore with Lily Twos. This is the thing that I've been working on with the patrons. So when I share this knowledge with over on Patreon, I myself naturally have to do the research and have to experience these things. Whenever you are sharing knowledge, it means you have done the work and to be able to share the experience. One would hope. I'm trying to bring it on home. But in hearing, channeling what was said and aligning that with what the divination was, this being is the Pazuzu, and I will put the spelling on the screen. But because I have a connection to Chaldea, Mesopotamia, Akkadian energies, periodically these things present themselves in my life. This is a being that, a demon that protects the home, and specifically in that time, protects from lily twos that are causing mischief. And not referring to Lilith, but the entities, the female demons of the night that cause mischief. And I'm doing more research on understanding that, but this is the demon that comes in to protect your house. There's a lot more that goes into this demon, but in doing the research, what that told me was, and this is my understanding of what was channeled, Lucifer sent this entity to assist me on that journey working with the Qlipoth in this area. This is the shadow side. You would want to understand that, but tread carefully and, you know, protect yourself and all of that. And sometimes I just go in, dive head first, and you know, thankfully I have guides and counsel in the council and the spirits and Lucifer to help guide me, the light bringer, to help guide me. You know, sometimes when I don't really think before I go or walk. So this entity is here for protection. So a lot of people don't, specifically a lot of people that don't really understand the left-hand path, or just some people in general don't understand that demons can be protectors. And despite what it looks like, right? Despite what it looks like, you know, to some people this is scary. So you wouldn't think, oh, they are here to help me. But, you know, some are. Some are, yes, be scared of, because some are out to cause harm. Some are mischievous, and which is why you have this type of demon that protects the home from the mischievous. I'm grateful that Lucifer it took the time out to make me aware of what it is that I should do on the path going forward. And even Santa Morte, because I think I was calling in, I guess my energies was calling in for help, because I really needed to understand why I was seeing this entity. And once I understood what it was, I needed to then understand how to proceed going forward. And the other thing that I wanted to share is, if you are working in specifically the shadow side of the tree, right, the Qlipoth, if this is something that in your later years, in your years of after having done shadow work and doing the work, and then you decide, this is interesting, maybe this is something that I want to do, you want to make sure you aren't working backwards. So I've worked on shadow work, and shadow work is a daily thing, and we will be doing shadow work until we leave this existence. But I have done the core, right? The core of some things. And it wouldn't make sense for me to journey through the realms of existence that are all about that shadow side. It would be like, and which happens to me all the time, which is why some things I can't watch. But it would be like you watching someone give a reading, and it's for the collective, and you've already excelled or worked through certain things, but then you hear the reading and you're like, oh, maybe I do need to work on that. When in fact you don't. It's just that for some reason, sometimes you don't realize that you have already done the work. And for those of you that are doing the work and doing the shadow work, you don't realize you've done the work, and sometimes you leave yourself in that place when you should move on to the next part of your journey, which is something that I've been doing. I've been holding myself in this place, and what this whole autumn equinox season and the solar and lunar eclipse that's coming, that is happening in my sun and in the lunar in my rising. This is the time where I have to realize I've done the work in that area. Don't leave myself there, come out of those energies. It is time for me to go to the next part. When working with the Qlipoth, I want to make sure that whatever realms or the tunnels and caves that I choose or want to work with, I want to make sure that, I contact my council, spirits, and guides, and just make sure that this is something that is meant for me to do. If not, maybe I'll go to walk through the other tunnel and caves and spheres and realms. But I just wanted to say that because I know some people are curious about the Qlipoth. And if you aren't new to shadow work, if you aren't new to your shadow side, if you have dealt with your shadow side but not within the realms of the Qlipoth, just make sure you aren't putting yourself back into a place that you have already excelled from. Now, there's so much more to working with the Qlipoth. It could be just to understand the energies of certain entities and what their realm holds. I just wanted to share that because I know for myself, I had to decipher how I was going to proceed forward with working within those realms. Looking at this visual, I drew, and I remember drawing the Freemason. To me, this is what it looked like. I'm not going to go into all of what that meant, but even in the thing it wore around its neck, the representation of it was within the divination of the cards. And I wanted to say why I used the Thoth Tarot deck, because at the bottom it's words. So when you use the Thoth Tarot, you can not only look at the card but divine what the message is, maybe a sentence, or maybe it's saying something if you line those words up together. So I pulled 7 cards, and that's a method that I will be using going forward. But that is enough rambling. I just wanted to come on here and talk a little bit about some things that are going on. And if you're watching this before the Love Magic Challenge starts, the 30-day Love Magic Challenge starts, I invite you to come join us. And if you want to do this solo on your own and you don't want to join over on Patreon, I have created the digital download printables and videos for you to do on your own. So you can go over to the Patreon, my Patreon shop, and you'll see it. It is only $5, and it is 3 different styles of the printable download. Because I realize, not everybody loves pink because that was the original one that I created. So I just created 3 different styles. And within the PDF is the clickable links to the videos. It's 3 or 4 videos to help guide you along. But I would be happy to for you to join over on Patreon and just join for the challenge. and leave after that. But it would be great to have you join us. And that starts on I'm having a live Zoom with the patrons on the 28th, and that's this Thursday at the time that I'm filming this. So if you want to join and catch the live, the first live, because it's going to be a live Zoom each week after we've gone through the different things that we will be doing. We're going to come back and share that experience of the Love Magic Challenge for the week. That is all I want to say to you beautiful creatures on today. Until the next video, I love you all, and into the shadows.